I stripped everything out of here. I didn't even have a paper clip. So I had to get restocked a little bit. Well,
Don't forget your,
yeah, I'm not on the
nameplate,
record.
too.
What's that?
Don't forget your nameplate.
Yeah, we'll take that off later. Rob took his off. Well, everything is well in Hollywood, I hope. It is 6:45. Judge Meinecke's got the recovery license court. All right, we're waiting for the prosecutor to join us. We've got a probation violation matter that and sentence I think is resolved. It's not a probation violation, it's a bond violation, so I've mischaracterized it, but mostly it's a sentence. And I do not think the new room's gonna have a chalkboard. We'll see how all that goes. I'll let this run for just a moment. We had a couple of visitors this morning. Then when we finish this, that will complete the morning. We'll do some more moving before we come back this afternoon. We got to take the flags out of here, take the seal off the wall, take my plaque off the front. So we'll hope for the best. So we're waiting for a prosecutor to join us. Laura, make sure I'm not in here talking without having the record on. Good thing she's looking out for me. You guys need to talk. The parties have been working on the case back and forth all morning. And yes, we can't now, but I've knocked over my monitor. They're gonna take it out of here later today. All right, sorry about that jarring experience. We're gonna step out for a minute. Everybody, the live stream is on, so keep that in mind. Come into my junky office and we'll talk for a moment.
It should be quick. I don't think we need to go that far.
All right.
Thank you. Please be seated. And sorry about the bashing the system over. It's all coming out of here shortly. We've got a strange camera angle, but someone who shall remain nameless bought me that camera because they were nameless, but I have some suspects. All right, let's go on the record. We'll wait a minute for Miss Stoll to rejoin us. Did they take Mr. Cole back to the jail?
Yes.
Good. All right, I think Ms. Stoll is consulting with the complainant. No, I don't have a probation referral in here either. Well, we'll hope for the best. We are in hurry up and wait mode, and sometimes that's how it goes. Jordan, is this the only thing you had today?
Yes.
Knock this over again. I guess it doesn't matter. It's going to be removed. They were diligently working on getting Judge Patterson's hearing room set up. 3 guys in a small space and a bunch of wires and tools and monitors and microphones, and they're going to do mine mostly while I'm gone. Well, I thought we were ready. I guess not quite. All right, I think we're good to go. I'll call the case. This is People versus Robert Gray Baird. That's you, sir?
Yes.
Here with your lawyer, Ms. Jordan Harden. Also present is Assistant Prosecuting Attorney Abby Stoll. Defendant was charged with domestic violence or domestic assault for an incident that occurred on January 22nd of 2026. The defendant pled guilty to a domestic violence on March 5th. The prosecutor had recommended a deferral And as I advised you at that time, I can only do the deferral if the prosecutor consents. We do dozens of them every year. The prosecutor has the discretion whether to allow the deferral or not. And the court can't do it unless the prosecutor agrees. So sometime between March 5th and our proposed sentence date of March 23rd, there came a alleged bond violation, alleging that you had violated the no contact and no assaultive behavior condition of your bond.
Your Honor, I apologize for interrupting. The alleged violation was February 5th. So it was well before.
All right, well, we found out about it before the sentence. Thank you. It actually occurred before the sentence. But anyway, it popped its head up at the time we were going to do the sentence on March 23rd. So we continued the matter further until today for sentence. Your lawyer and the prosecutor's office have been discussing this matter through the morning. As I understand our posture right now, Ms. Stoll, we're going to proceed with the domestic violence sentencing with the deferral allowed by the prosecutor, and we're not going to proceed on the bond violation. We'll simply proceed on a sentencing with a recommended deferral, where if the defendant completes the probation, the charge could be taken off his record. Is that the people's position?
That's correct, Your Honor.
You agree, Ms. Harden?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, there was also discussion of, for the continued peace of mind of the parties and the complainant, a tether, GPS tether, which would prohibit him from coming into physical contact with the complainant while we're on the probation. So, Mr. Baird, you pled guilty to the domestic violence charge. The prosecutor agrees with the deferral, which means I'm going to do a sentence which will allow you to take the charge off your record. I'm going to hang some jail over your head. If you violate the bond, you're just going to, if there's an allegation of the violation of the conditions, you'll go to jail and lose the deferral. Do you understand? You have to speak your answer.
Yes.
All right, Jordan, what would you like me to know?
Thank you, Your Honor. As the court is aware, the parties do have a minor and very minor child in common, so that does complicate things going further. I have discussed the benefits of the deferral with my client, as well as the expectations of him while on this probation in order to receive that benefit. He's aware, in my discussions with the prosecuting attorney, they are going to ask to continue with the no contact as well as a GPS tether to ensure there's no further inappropriate or assaultive conduct between the parties. We would ask that the current bond condition that allows my client telephonic or virtual communication for the purposes of talking about the needs of the child as well as parenting time with the child be continued. There is a domestic case in which he is awarded custodial rights and parenting time. So obviously that's something that he may need to navigate in the family court going forward. I have encouraged him to contact his domestic attorney and try to facilitate a third party to assist with that via a court order to avoid any kind of confrontation or contact with the parties. He's aware the stakes are very high. If he is not able to comply, he loses not only the deferral, but potentially his employment, as the judge, the support will order him to do some jail time. So this is a case where the parties are extremely intertwined due to that child and their romantic history. So I have advised him that even if the complainant contacts him and tries to initiate contact with him, he needs to ignore her so that he can remain compliant and get the benefit of that deferral. Otherwise, we are in agreement with the conditions that the prosecution has asked for. We'd ask that any and all jail time be deferred as part of this deferral in order for him to receive the benefit. However, if the court feels that any upfront jail time would be necessary, we'd ask that it be scheduled by the probation department. He does not have any criminal history, no assaultive history. He's the type of individual for which this deferral was intended to help. So I would ask the court to afford him all the benefits and opportunities to complete that. Thank you.
Ms. Stoll, What's your position here?
Thank you, Your Honor. I've offered the domestic violence deferral, so the defendant can keep a clean record, hopefully learn from his mistakes so that he doesn't make them again. I would ask that the court order the most rigorous domestic violence probation possible as a way to help him learn from what he's done and move forward. I would also ask that, and the court's already indicated this, that the defendant be put on a GPS tether with hot zones around the victim's house and her place of work to keep him away from her. I understand that in cases of domestic violence deferrals, that the court typically doesn't order upfront jail time, but I would like to see the defendant do a weekend in jail just so that he gets a taste of what it would be like if he were to violate his probation, so that he understands that the court's orders are serious.
All right. Ms. Shaw is here with the victim advocate. Do you wish to speak, or you just wish to be present? Is there anything you want to say? I'm willing to hear what you have to say. All right. Well, I'm glad you're here. Mr. Barrett, anything you want to tell me?
I'm very sorry for my actions. This is I've lost quite a bit of sleep on this. I've been really nervous about going through this. Even that one day in jail that I've already spent, that was
I counted it as 2. You got arrested late on the 22nd, and early on the 22nd. You bonded late on the 23rd.
Well, that stay was a pretty good eye awakening, and this worry about bond conditions and the concern of not being able to be there for my kid or being able to pay the child support so they can be supported.
Where are you working?
Midwest Gutter Systems.
That's right.
Yeah.
Are you about to be real busy?
We're already real busy, and I've got
A lot of people got tornado guttered, but it's the time of year when your business picks up.
Yeah, I've got 5 straight days of estimates, 7, 8 people a day that I'm meeting, plus weekend estimates most times.
Well, the income is good to pay the support. This is always hard when the parties have a child together. These parties were not married, but they do have a case and counsel and parenting time and custody issues. So there is some family court supervision. The problem is you're stuck with each other for the next 17 years. And I don't do divorces. I never had any desire to be the domestic relations judge. God bless Judge Pattison. He wants to do that and he's very good at it, but it's very difficult. And sometimes there's no good answer. The best answer is bad for both parties. Makes Ms. Shaw's life complicated, makes your life complicated, makes the child's life complicated. But there's a public safety issue here. As your lawyer said, you've got no criminal record. The prosecutor mentioned it also. I'm going to order 90 days jail, credit 2, giving 88 days to serve. You already did 2 days in jail. They have the 90 days, 88 are deferred. Usually in a deferral, the jail is deferred. However, if you violate the probation conditions, you could end up going to jail for 88 days. So my hope is that you'll comply with the conditions. I'm going to make the fine 0. There's a $75 crime victims' rights fee, a $50 state minimum fee, $150 attorney fee. I'm doing a 12-month probation, which is $480. I need to pay for the class. I'm doing the full domestic violence class. I'm going to order community corrections GPS tether. No drugs and no alcohol. Ms. Shaw, I didn't get the impression that this was alcohol driven. Alcohol is not a factor in this matter. Is that correct? I didn't get that sense, but everybody that's on probation has this condition. And we'll do testing as directed if needed. You don't need drug counseling or treatment. All right, I forgot. You're in Vicksburg and you're in the Michigan Avenue house. So you're not really very far apart. No contact. Well, let's add that up. 125 plus 150 plus 480 plus the class, but that's 755 doing 1 year. I'm doing the full class. You're actually going to benefit from it. I never had anybody that took the class that didn't like it. They would say, well, I hate my wife. You're a jerk. My lawyer sold me out. I'll say, what'd you think of the class? Oh, I like the class. It's ironic. People that were mad about everything actually benefited and enjoyed the class. You need it for your relationships, for your parenting. No contact except for custody and visitation purposes.
Your Honor, does that extend to exchanges of the child if they were to meet at a public place like a police
Yes.
station? Okay, so he can have contact and exchange. For the
Well, my
purpose of that
preference would be a
exchange.
third party.
I would encourage that as well.
I'm gonna, no,
Okay,
no contact except for custody and visitation virtually.
okay.
Maybe it can go on, but it's gonna have to get better because this is terrible for your child. Even if you don't like each other, you need to deal with each other. The child support is a bad deal all the way around. I've said this a lot. It's not enough money for the mother to support the child, and it's too much money from the other paying parent. And in the middle is the child. It's a best answer to a bad problem. But
And again, I've encouraged him to contact his domestic attorney as soon as possible to try to get some third-party orders in place in that file.
and that could work. I commend you that you want to continue to be a part of your child's life. We have so many fathers primarily that just disappear because they don't want to pay. And they end up being a absent dad or a non-existent dad or a part-time dad that comes in long enough just to screw things up. But I'm serious. You guys need to work on it. You're going to go to this class, which is going to help you deal with these issues. You're going to be on this tether, which is going to keep you away from the complainant. And you got a bunch of jail hanging over your head. You got no criminal record. And if you can stay the course here, you won't have any. So we'll see how this goes. You can be discharged earlier than 12 months if you've completed all the obligations of the probation. So I'm gonna ask the court officer to take you out to the counter and we'll get you plugged into the
Could I
probation.
have him wait until the victim leaves? the
Yes,
courtroom? Thank
well, I
you.
was gonna have him go
Okay.
in there and then they can go out that way. So why don't you go ahead and escort him out to the counter. All right,
Thank you.
Mr. Baird, I want you to hold up your end of the deal. You need to, for your sake, her sake, and your child's sake. And I hope it works. You go with the court officer.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Jordan. Thank you,
Thank you.
Abigail.
Thanks, Judge.
I will stop the live stream and stop the record. We'll be back at 2.
This courtroom hearing centers on Robert Graybear's sentencing for a domestic violence charge after he pleaded guilty, with the judge ultimately allowing a deferral that could erase the charge if he successfully completes probation. Although there was an earlier alleged bond violation, it is not pursued, and both the defense and prosecution agree to move forward with strict probation terms instead. The judge orders 12 months of probation, a GPS tether to keep him away from the victim, no contact rules except limited communication about their child, domestic violence classes, and various fees, while also placing 88 days of jail time over his head if he violates any conditions. Graybear expresses remorse and concern about supporting his child, and the judge emphasizes the difficulty of co-parenting after such incidents, warning that failure to comply will result in jail and loss of the deferral, but encouraging him to follow the rules so he can keep a clean record and improve his future.